We just got out of allocation season 2025. That got me thinking, what bourbons or whiskeys am I going to be looking for in 2026? And what am I not going to be able to pass up? Let's go! How are y'all doing today? My name's Chris. Welcome back to Bourbinsane. The end of every year, that's when the allocation season starts. Usually around November, December, January sometimes, but mostly end of the year, all those limited releases from distilleries start to drop. You know, we got our BTAC collection, Old Forester birthday bourbon, the whole slew of them come wintertime. And you know, 2025 was a good year. Wish I had been able to try more of those allocated releases, had a few, but 2026 is a new year. And there are a whole bunch of things that have been popping up on TTB for what's coming in 2026. And that got me thinking, let's talk about what I want to find in 2026. And what allocated specifically whiskeys I'm going to be looking for in 2026. So of course I want to try every single release I see pop up on social media. But today I limited it to just 6 of them. And I feel like these 6 will maybe give me, like I have potential to possibly find at least some of them. But then I have a couple, you know, unicorn I always want to try bottles as well. So if you haven't yet, make sure you do like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let me know what is that one allocated whiskey you're going to be searching for in 2026. Let's go into number 6. Starting out with number 6 today, and this is actually a bottle that I have had, but not a store pick of it. And it's right here, Stagg Jr. So I've had numerous releases of the regular Stagg Jr, or now Stagg it's called, but Buffalo Trace's barrel proof option between 6 and 8 years usually. Store picks I've heard are extremely good with this bottle. I've never seen a store pick of this locally. I have seen like a Baby Saz store pick, you know, here in Michigan where I am, but a Stagg Jr pick specifically, never. Never even had a sample, unfortunately. It is one I'd love to try. I mean, I love Buffalo Trace's flavor profile. We all do, really. It's very approachable. Allocation, distribution, that's always our biggest gripe with Buffalo Trace in general. If I was able to try one of these, especially from someone I know, a certain store that I know does good picks, then I'd be really curious to get that, and hopefully it wouldn't be too crazy over retail. I'm at the point in my bourbon journey these days where I'm not paying for stuff much over retail. I mean, there's just too much good whiskey on the market. The market's very saturated with good stuff. I can't bring myself to support secondary prices anymore. So if I can find this at retail, pick specifically, I'm picking it up all day. Coming in at number 5 today, and this is really a range of whiskeys, but anything from the BTAC line. We're going to stick in the Buffalo Trace wheelhouse, and of course this is pretty much on all of our short lists of allocated bottles we would get if we saw it at retail. I've had just about everything from the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection line now. I've tried it, at least one of the releases at some point. I don't think I've ever had the Saz 18 or maybe the Eagle Rare 17, but it was years ago if I did. They're always wonderful. I mean, really, really good. I'm really trying to get on Buffalo Trace's media list so I can try to get some samples sent to me and be able to try the whole flight. Those are such limited sample availabilities, though it's almost impossible. So in 2026, if I can find even one of these bottles, I mean, the Stagg is always a favorite of mine. My all-time, probably favorite bottle I've ever had is the William LaRue Weller. I have a 2019 bottle, and I just love that thing. Probably the best whiskey I've ever had, personally. So if I can find any of those, even a good handy every now and then, you know, I'd love it. I love it. Will I ever find them? I mean, I've seen them at retail a few times. I've seen them, at retail stores a few times, but never anywhere near retail. I mean, pushing $1,000, stuff like that for any of them, you know, so it's crazy. And again, can't bring myself to pay those prices, but if I can find a store that has them at retail this year, it's on my short list. Coming in at number 4 today is from a distillery that I always enjoy, and I always love these releases when I pick them up. And I got a few other ones. M10, Michter's 10-year bourbon. These single barrel bourbons are some of the best single barrels I've had. I mean, they really are. The proof is lower, you know, so we're under 50 ABV on these. But I'll tell you what, they haven't missed for me. You know, they really have not missed for me. few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was able to get these at retail or right around there. At the time, it was about 150 bucks. Now, if I see them, which is probably about once a year I see an M10, it's like secondary-ish, like $300. Like, I can go to a store right here by me now and get one for $300. But I'm like, $300 for a 10-year single barrel, lower proof, but yes, they're delicious. You know, like I said, I've never had a bad one. I can't do it. I can't pay those prices anymore. You know, I can't support that behavior. But delicious. You know, just a delicious, delicious bottle. Everything Michter's does is really actually good. I mean, their low entry proof they use, it adds such a better mouthfeel finish. I love their toasted barrel bourbon, their toasted barrel rye. One of the best ryes I've ever had is that toasted barrel rye. I've had multiple bottles. So love that stuff too. Michter's in general, just good distillery. You know, good distillery. Not one that's always talked about with some of the other big names out there, but I think almost everything Michter's does, really, really good. Coming in at number 3 today, and I'm not sure if this is truly going to be an allocated bottle or not. It's supposed to be a shelfie, but I'm not convinced. The next release of Jack Daniel's Heritage Barrel. Now, I had to include this on here because this actually won my Whiskey of the Year last year. If you haven't seen that awards, Whiskey of the Year, Best 25, go watch it right now. But this won Best Bourbon for me that I had. The Heritage Barrel releases, I had the one from a few years back. Of course, you know, 4 or 5 years now it was. And this year's release, they're both really, really good. I mean, really good. And this is supposed to be a mainstay in Jack Daniel's line. You know, we're going to see if that holds true, but 7-year bourbon, full proof at 100 proof, you know, and aged at the prime part of the rickhouse for Jack Daniel's, you know, and I love that flavor profile that comes through, that toasted marshmallow, burnt caramel, burnt brown sugar. So I'm curious to see if that flavor profile holds true for the subsequent releases. Distilleries have a track record of putting out really good whiskey for the first release or two of a certain line extension or whatever, and then after that they kind of fall off in quality because they got people hooked on it. So I'm curious to see if this holds true to flavor profile, still as good as the previous releases, and I'm going to take a gamble at 70 bucks. There's no question about that. Coming in at number 2, and guess what? We're staying right in that Jack Daniel's wheelhouse. The Jack Daniel's 10, 12, or 14. I only saw one bottle of these last year at a store, and it was the Jack Daniel's 14, nowhere near retail. It was listed at $5.99 or $6.99. Couldn't do it. Even with how good I heard that bottle was, you know, with how delicious that bottle is supposed to be. I realize I have a bourbon channel, and I should be probably getting these bottles so I can put them out for you guys, but I'm not making any money. I mean, it's hard to drop 600 bucks with some of these releases. You know, I would love to try them. I'd love to share them with you guys. But how? You know, how can I do it? I got a family to take care of. Mouths to feed. Everything I've heard about these bottles, though, all 3 of them, just wonderful. Just wonderful. The Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof picks are some of my favorite. You know, the Barrel Proof Rye is wonderful. I just mentioned the Heritage Barrel 2 seconds ago. So everything Jack Daniel's does is just really, really good. It's hard to go wrong, you know. So if I can find one of these anywhere near retail, I'll probably be picking them up this year. And I'm curious to see if this is going to be a continuation of, you know, every year these are going to be out or not. I haven't heard. You guys can let me know down in the comments if that's going to be the case. I hope so, and I hope if the bourbon market continues to cool down, we'll be able to get some of these bottles for all of us. Before we go into our number 1 choice for allocated bottles I'm looking for in 2026, do me a favor and like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let me know what is that allocated whiskey you are looking for in 2026. My number 1 choice, an unreleased whiskey, at least here in the United States and lately, in the last 15 years or whatever. Wild Turkey, 16-year gold foil. Okay, I saw this label on TTB and I was just like the rest of us, like, you know, like, yes, this is what we've been wanting. I mentioned that the William LaRue Weller is probably my favorite bourbon I've had overall. I was able to try a sample of just the Wild Turkey 8-year 101, like just a sample of it. That was the most viscous, mouth-coating, delicious flavor profile I've ever had in my entire life. Like one of those old bottles, you know, from the 80s or whatever it was. I don't even remember the year. But that and the Weller together, I mean, one of those two is probably the best thing I've ever had in my life, honestly. So if this can hold true to that cheesy gold foil flavor profile, I mean, that's the bottle that every Wild Turkey fan is searching for, you know, or the old ones at least, for sure. So, of course, it's probably not going to have that same distinct kind of funky oak flavor profile that the older turkey has. I can't imagine, at least. They'll probably do the best they can to get to that, but just distilling processes and things aren't the same as they used to be, you know? So, but either way, a 16-year turkey, sign me the up. You know what I mean? Russell's 15, Russell's 13. Oh, love them. So, if this release can live up somehow to the hype, I'm super pumped for it. Of course, question is going to be price. We know Master's Keep alone's $250 for those usually. This has got to be more than that, right? And let's not even talk about secondary. I mean, we could push $1,500, $2,000 for secondary for these bottles. But man, let's hope they just make a whole bunch of them. They won't, but that's all right. That's all right. Either way, a boy can dream, can he? All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. I appreciate y'all being here with me. I want to hear your thoughts. You know, give me that 1, give me that 5. What are those whiskeys you really want in 2026, or even just in general? Like, what is that one unicorn bottle or allocated bottle that you've always wanted and you just never could get your hands on it, or at least at retail? You know, let me know down in the comments below. Appreciate y'all being here today. Thank you so much. Stay insane.